Hello and welcome to Golden Geography. Today we're going to be looking at a case study for the Exploring Oceans unit for the OCR exam board. Here we're looking at the Great Pacific Garbage Patch and we're thinking a little bit about plastic pollution. So first of all, a little bit about the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. It is an area that is a significant size where, due to ocean currents, plastic has accumulated. The majority of the pollution is plastic, and a lot of it is attributed to fishing activities. You can see on this image it says 46% of the total mass is made from fishing gear that has been discarded at sea. We have a little heat map here that shows us that it's within the Pacific, it's off the American coastline, and we have significant amounts. We're talking about 80,000 tons of rubbish and 1.8 trillion pieces of plastic. So a large area of plastic that has accumulated in the North Pacific. It comes in with this case study. This is what we're looking for. A case study of the accumulation of plastic in one ocean gyre, such as the North Pacific, including the causes of the accumulation and the impacts on the marine ecosystems. So let's start with the causes. There are different estimates from different scientific backgrounds. Here we're looking at somewhere between 75 and 86% of that garbage patch coming from fishing or sea-based activities. Others have that slightly lower value, but certainly we are looking at plastic from the fishing industry. Also, we're looking at materials here from tourism-based industry, as well as a significant amount of plastic coming via our river systems out into our oceans. And what is happening is, as that plastic becomes or gets into our oceans, it is then getting caught up in the gyre. It's cold and warm ocean currents are circulating, moving the plastic, and it is accumulating in the North Pacific. Well, what are the impacts then? It's difficult to tell because there is so much plastic, but there are some key species that we have been able to identify, and one of those is the albatross. There is a significant number of them, 1.5 million albatross that inhabit the atoll, the Midway Atoll, and when they have done studies, they found about a third of their chicks die because of plastic and being fed by plastic by their parents, and about half of them all have plastic in their system somewhere. And when they do find animals, like the picture shows here, it's not just one or two, it's significant bits, large quantities of plastic that are blocking their system. Well, it's not all bad. Actually, there are some positives as well. As bizarre as it seems, having these plastics, particularly plastics which have a larger surface area, have enabled some species like barnacles and crustaceans to live off them. So what you would find in a coastal zone, actually now you're starting to find in the mid-ocean, but developing and living on this floating plastic. So a challenge for most, but an opportunity for some. What do we do about it? Well, this is the tricky question. We need to find ways to clean up what's already there. We also need to find ways to challenge and to prevent further plastics from getting into our oceans. So the bottom image shows you having these buoys out and dragging pollution together and then effectively cleaning up the pollution in our oceans. That's great, particularly for larger bits of plastic. Doesn't work so well for microplastics. The main way to get microplastics out of the ocean would be to sieve it, but then you would catch within that sieving process or fishing process for plastic, you'd catch small invertebrate and parts of the food chain, and you would disrupt those food chains. You can put, and this is an area of scientific development, you can potentially put plastic-eating enzymes into the ocean that will help the plastic to dissolve, but what does that do to the food chain long term? We don't know. You can, as we can see here with the ocean cleanup boat, put boats into our riverways to try and get the plastic and debris out of our rivers before they get into the oceans. That's really good, but these are expensive boats and they can't be on every river all the time. They have to be targeted to the most plastic, most dirty rivers as such. And again, it's not really a solution. These are both cleaning up at different places, either in the ocean or in our rivers, cleaning up the plastic. What we need to do is potentially stop plastic. Stop using plastic, certainly stop using disposable plastics, single-use plastics, and perhaps have better infrastructure within our societies to deal with plastics so they don't get blown or dropped into our rivers and waterways. Ocean Cleanup is an organisation that is trying to tackle ocean pollution, but they are not alone. It is a global problem and therefore it does need a global solution. Okay, time for a quick quiz. Pause the video, see if you can answer these 4 questions. There we go, here's the answers. And here are some essay questions that have popped up in the past, which you could use this case study as part or all of the answer. Okay, thanks for listening.